Hello there, hope you're doing great. Today, let's talk about the 5 essential keys to mastery. In episode 167 of the Mind Over Finger podcast, I talked about these 5 keys in depth. So I recommend that you go catch the episode here on YouTube or anywhere you catch your favorite shows. And as you might know already, if you've caught episode 166, in April and May on the podcast, I'll be covering mastery. All of this is highly inspired by the work of George Leonard, who wrote a lot of really great books, including one titled Mastery. It's a very short read. I highly recommend it. So let me review briefly what these 5 keys are according to George Leonard, and then I'm going to send you home with some questions that you can reflect on to help include a little bit more of mindfulness, of efficiency on your journey to mastery. So what are the 5 keys? What are the 5 things that you need to get more mastery, to get more skills, to get more expertise in any given field? So the first one, and again, catch the whole episode for more details on this. So the first one, instruction. Seek instruction and find a guide, someone with experience and someone that is skilled in your given field, and follow their advice. So in our field, the classical music field, we often have our teachers, we have our collaborators, and we can also have coaches. So find someone who's going to guide you with expertise, with experience on your journey to mastery. The second one is practice. So if you follow me for a while, I've covered that topic of practice over and over again. You know that I'm talking about mindful, efficient practice, intentional practice. And there's so many episodes about this, so I don't need to stay on this topic for a long time, but you want to find a practice that works for you and that fits your learning style and your tendencies, all of this stuff. So a consistent practice routine. Also, surrender. Surrender is a very important concept in mastery because there is going to be a lot of obstacles. As we seek new skills, there's going to be a lot of time where we feel like beginners, where we feel unskilled. So we have to surrender to the process. We have to surrender to maybe taking instruction from a teacher and accepting that if we're trying to change a specific technique for a day or two, or maybe a few weeks or a couple months, it's going to feel unfamiliar. So this idea of surrendering is very important because it is the concept that we must let go of perfectionism and embrace this mindset that is so important in what I teach, the deep practice model, and everything related to the Mind Over Finger peak performance system, which is to have this beginner's mind, to always approach everything with curiosity and a thirst for knowledge. But we surrender to the process with grace and humility and flexibility. So this idea of surrendering to the process, very, very important. Then intentionality, not surprising, but that's the 4th key. So we want to be intentional and purposeful in this pursuit of mastery. What is it that we want? How can we achieve it? How can we be present in the moment as we go about it? So this idea of intentionality is very important. It brings, again, one of the core mindset of the deep practice model of the Mind Over Finger peak performance system, which is bare awareness, having this presence, having this keen awareness of where we are, who we are, the purpose, what we're doing, and how we're going about it. So intentionality. And finally, the edge, what George Leonard calls the edge. And I love that because we want to step outside of our comfort zone. It's the only way to grow. So we want to find this edge. What I like about this is that we're not wanting to go full throttle to the point of sort of traumatizing ourselves. exploring this area, this edge of our skills, this edge of our comfort zone allows us to grow at a pace that respects us. But it encourages us to also not sort of sit in this comfort, in what is familiar, in all of the things we already know. It encourages us to stay curious, to push a little bit, to live in a place of uncertainty to a certain degree, of discomfort, of experimentation, of risk, maybe. So what is that edge for you in any field that you're pursuing mastery? How can you go beyond what you already know in a way that works for you? So pursuing this edge, so embracing challenges, embracing uncertainty, and embracing this sensation of being a beginner, right? And all of these, you can see, they work in symbiosis, because as we're in the edge, we need to be very intentional about our actions. We need to surrender to the discomfort. We need to use all of our really good practice techniques. And we also can benefit from guidance of a guide, right? So you see how these 5 keys work together on this journey to mastery. Now, here are some questions for you to take home and reflect on. And I always have the transcript of the episodes available to you. So you can go to my website, mindoverfinger.com/resources. So you go to the resources section and you can sign up to get all of these transcripts. And these questions are in this transcript for episode 167 if you want those in writing. So, questions to explore your relationship with mastery. Ready? What skills or areas of knowledge do I want to develop further? And why are they important for me? So what do you want to explore? And why is this important for you? Number 2, how do I approach setbacks or failures in my pursuit of mastery? Do I view them as opportunities for growth and learning, or do I get discouraged and give up? So, challenge, setback, stumbling block, discouragement, things don't go your way. What do you do? How do you see this? Something unsurmountable or something that can teach you something? So, opportunities for growth or something that's just going to halt the whole process? How do I prioritize my time and energy in pursuit of my goals? Am I intentional and purposeful in my actions, or do I often get distracted or sidetracked? So, going with intentionality, with mindfulness, with presence, what happens to your time and energy? Are you present or are you mindless? So, are you wasting time? Are you getting distracted? Are you getting sidetracked? And this is not for you to judge yourself. It's for you to see what's happening, to know what's going on. And if you have clarity on what you want and why you want it, that's going to help you realize that one way to get there faster, to stay attached to the goal, is to be mindful of how you're going about it. So being mindful of your time and energy. And then how do you manage your focus? Okay, when was the last time you pushed yourself beyond your comfort zone and embraced the edge? So if there was a time like this recently, put yourself back and ask yourself, how did I feel during that experience and what did I learn from it? The funny thing with negotiating the edge, keep in mind, is that finding that sweet spot is just trial and error. There's no perfect way to do it. Sometimes you might push too far, and that's going to be tough. But you get back. You learn, and you get back up. So reflect on these questions and ask yourself, how does that come into my life right now? How can I incorporate this in my life right now? And get clarity on your purpose, what you want, why you want it, and how you want to go about it. And see how you can incorporate these 5 keys of mastery in your life. Let's name them again: instruction, practice, surrender, intentionality, and the edge. So catch episode 167 of the Mind Over Finger podcast, where I go more at length on this. And don't forget to share your insight, your comments here below. I read them, I will answer, and I love to hear back from you. So have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.